found a problem that I didn't know I had? Let's find out. French car stuff. Whoa. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to version 1. You join us out here on this sunny but miserable cold day because yet again, more mods for the Megane. This time in the form of this Forged Motorsport Turbo inlet adapter. Now, mods like this claim to do a lot of things, but today we're going to be focusing on the pure facts. Bigger bore, apparently some different sound. So let's get it installed and see what's what. Before we get into today's video, as per usual, if you enjoy this content, make sure you leave it a like rating, really helps us out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and ring the bell notification to find your way back for any future content. So if you're wondering why I'm stuck behind here, it's to kind of keep me out of the wind, because it is quite windy out here today, otherwise you won't hear anything. But like I said in the intro, we're going to be installing this turbo inlet adapter. Now, these sort of mods claim to do quite a lot, but realistically you want to look at the main sort of points, strong points of this sort of modification. 59% bigger intake size over the original standard piece, and obviously replacing, one sec,
a few moments later,
and obviously changing plastic parts which are on the standard car to metal pieces, just make things a little bit more reliable and a little bit more smoother and less likely to obviously any sort of failure. So this piece goes like so on the car, and I'll show you exactly where it goes when we get round to the front. I'm going to whip everything off on the standard piece first, compare it to this piece, and then put this on, go for a drive. You know how it is. So let's get round here. So the part in question that we will be changing will be this pipe just here, and onto the plastic unit down here where these two pipes attach. So first things first, we're going to take the intake pipe off, then we're going to remove these two pipes, get them out of the way, and then there should be two, which looks like 30mm bolts to undo from directly on the side of the turbo. Let's go. Have we found a problem that I didn't know I had? Let's find out. French car stuff. It doesn't look like it's been, oh, it looks, it's a bit misty down here and down here. So that not being done up properly is it's loosened off, at least. Check your intake bolts, guys, because I've never removed that. And the washer was squashed there as well. I don't know if you can see that, just there. So there's the standard piece there, where it going together something like that. Two pipes went on there, but this is the part that's changed the most. If you look in comparison to this, you can see, sorry, hold on, quick differences between the two before we can whack this new one on. As you can see, there's clearly a massive difference on the in the inlet side here. Thickness apparently 59% larger on the forged piece here, and obviously this being metal as well, and with a new O-ring, hopefully I'll get a bit of a better seal, because like I don't know if you could see over there earlier, I've never had this off before, but this bottom side was loose, and this ring here, the O-ring, has been pinched. So I don't really know if that would have caused me any issues or any blow-by of any sort. But yeah, not ideal. So I'm glad I'm changing this in the end, even if it's for minor changes. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I'm changing that. So maybe check your turbo inlets, guys, just in case they've loosened off a little bit. Right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the actual metal housing onto the turbo, so then it's easier to mount the pipe to this instead of trying to do it all at once. I think it'll be less fiddly and less awkward. Just make sure the O-ring is seated properly on there, like I just didn't, and it flew off and I nearly lost it. Let's plug it in. So I didn't look, but Forge supply new bolts to obviously fit on this bigger side housing. I wondered why it wasn't fitting, and it was because the nuts can't fit in there. So that's my own fault for not even checking. So there is a turbo inlet on there now, much bigger in size and metal. So then all we've got to do is then put the pipe on. And sweet. Right, so we're done. Pipe is on, other two pipes are installed there. By the looks of it, this pipe now, where it rearranges over here, where it relocates, seems to be going over the top of this into there, round here, and into this. So yeah, just gonna double check everything's buttoned up and let's go from there. Right, while the car's warming up a little bit, as you guys know, I'm fully transparent with the things that I do to this car and let you know in advance what something is like. And fitting that was majority very, very easy, but there is one issue. Accessing the back side of that Jubilee clip where the throttle actuator is and the turbo is, there's very, very little room. That's no fault of the forged part, I guess, but there's nothing you can do about that. So you have to find the right tools for it. Tiny little ratchet I ended up using to make sure that everything was tight on the actual intake onto the turbo itself, and a stubby little screwdriver just to make sure everything was sweet in that sort of area. So I'm not going to do too much driving today because I imagine the differences are going to be very minimal, but it's just to make sure okay, so the turbo does sound different, but it wasn't under full load. Hold on. Oh, okay, turbo definitely sounds different. So I wasn't expecting much audible difference simply because I'm running the GFB diverter, so I don't know how much that'll impede this audio change, but just those couple of little stabs then, I'll turn the mic around and see if you guys can hear it. There's a right little now. Interesting. Instead of a chatter now, there's more of like a sort of. It's really weird. It sounds like. Don't even know if you can hear that. It sounds awesome. That's sick. Wow, okay, so I wasn't expecting that at all. So it's much more of like a rally chirp than like a flutter now. Let's see if I can hear it with the windows down. Just exhaust went bang, just at the time I didn't want it to. Sick. Sick, mate. Let's put it down to third. I was not expecting that. So it's really difficult to tell if there's any sort of performance difference. I haven't driven the car in a couple of days, so it's hard to tell that if there's any sort of performance, like I say, over what it was originally. There seems to be a little bit more delay on build up of boost, but I am booting it from really low down in third. If I'm in second, yeah, actually scrap that, it's because I was too low down in third. When you built it in second there, it boosted straight up, felt smooth, didn't feel any lumpier due to the bigger intake size. But like I say, when we go for the map tweak in a couple of weeks, hopefully we'll be able to capitalise on the pipe being the 59% larger size. We might get a little bit more sauce out of it. So guys, before the video goes on any longer than it needs to, I'm going to end it right there. Summary of the part: really easy to install, just quite difficult to get to the back on the turbo side to do up that Jubilee clip, so you're going to need some small tools like a stubby screwdriver or a small ratchet to make sure that you get that tight and nothing comes off of the actual intake side of the turbo. But overall, the sound is pretty sick, and I'm not noticing any sort of performance gain, so I'm not going to flog you that kind of thing, being like, oh, it's so much faster with this pipe on and stuff. But as I mentioned potentially earlier, I am heading up to RS Tuning in the next couple of weeks for the map tweak. Now, it's only being tweaked, it's more of a health check really, because I had the car mapped on the spacer valve, which was giving me that boost leak. So I just want to make sure that everything's sweet. Paul's going to have a little dabble with it. I'll tell Paul that we've got that pipe on it, and we might be able to get a bit more sauce out of it. So if you enjoyed the video, as per usual, leave it a like rating, hit that subscribe button if you are new, and ring the bell notification to find your way back for any future content. Keep your eyes peeled for the RS Tuning trip, because you won't want to miss it, because it's going to be the real test of whether there was a boost leak or not, and or if we can make a little bit more sauce on this pipe. So